Get out of here! Scram! You're not wanted! Blacklisted. That's what one major YouTuber covering Star Wars says has happened to him and his channel. And that's not all. He's going after Star Wars. He's going after Lucasfilm. He's spilling secrets. Let's get into him right now. And folks, it's another great day to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. Happy to do it, happy to do it. This is not usual for us. We don't typically do an afternoon video on Thursdays because we have the Pro Show Live coming up. But when breaking news happens, I want you to know that we'll cover it no matter the time, no matter the day. Our breaking news today comes to us courtesy of Bounding Into Comics, a friend of the channel, John F. Trent, someone who has been on the channel in the past, someone we greatly admire and trust to bring us the news. Star Wars Theory, the major YouTube channel, trailing the Star Wars YouTube channel by only 1 million subscribers, if you want any indication of just how big he is. He has a major claim today, a huge claim. We're going to cover it. Before we do, folks, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and that notification bell. When you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. Here we go. Star Wars Theory claims Lucasfilm blacklisted him, says George Lucas not happy with Disney Star Wars. This from boundingintocomics.com. One of, if not the most popular Star Wars-focused YouTubers, Star Wars Theory recently detailed that Lucasfilm and the Walt Disney Company itself blacklisted him. Now, to tell everybody out there, just in case you don't know, blacklisted means you go on the list of content creators, producers, personalities who are not invited to anything Disney is doing. No collaborations, no early access to those wonderful premieres. And what that also means is that, yes, according to Star Wars Theory, an official blacklist does exist for the Walt Disney Company, something we've long known, but it's great to hear somebody talking about it. It also means something else. It means that when you hear from people who are getting early access to Disney content, when you hear from people who are getting privileged access to what Disney is doing, and then therefore they receive a benefit in being able to cover it in a way that the others can't, well, that's because they're not on that blacklist. And they're not on that blacklist because they're Disney approved. Just a heads up, in case you were wondering. In a recent podcast interview with fitness and bodybuilding YouTuber Vigorous Steve, Star Wars Theory not only revealed Lucasfilm had blacklisted him, but explained why they had done so. First, he said, "They blacklisted me. I know a bunch of guys that wanted to work with me like big companies." Well, why would they not? You have 3 million plus subscribers. Of course they want to work with you. And they were like, "We don't know what happened. We asked Disney and they don't want to work with you." He continued, "I know another guy, one of my close buddies, and he knows this dude that actually handles the whole blacklist, apparently, from what he told me." Holy smokes, folks! Star Wars Theory is saying that he knows somebody who actually runs this blacklist. Can you believe it? There's actually somebody, according to one of the biggest Star Wars YouTubers out there, who's in control of determining who no longer gets to work with Disney. Of course, we know these things exist. They just never talk about them. Fantastic stuff. Star Wars Theory then theorized why he's on Disney and Lucasfilm's blacklist. Notice it goes beyond Lucasfilm, according to him. "I just feel like I'm pretty outspoken. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to like everything they make. And at the end of the day, I'm really loyal to George Lucas and what he made. So I feel like if that pisses them off and that doesn't get me a free movie ticket or early access or whatever, that's okay. I'll buy it like everyone else. I'll wait until it releases like everyone else. But it is what it is," he added. And don't you love what that means conversely? Like we said, the people who do get those things, there's an unspoken set of rules, or perhaps it's a written set of rules now, for how you continue to get those things. Speaking out and telling the truth is not one of them. He would go on to reveal that one of his short-term goals is to have more subscriptions than the official Star Wars YouTube channel. As of writing, the official Star Wars YouTube channel has 4.1 million subscribers. Meanwhile, Star Wars Theory, not far behind with 3.32 million subscribers. He would go on to claim that a number of his contacts and sources have informed him that George Lucas is not happy with how the Walt Disney Company has handled the franchise. Well, how about that? And don't you love that when Disney ostracizes one of the biggest channels out there, the biggest channel starts telling truths? He said, I know people who know George, and they say he's not too happy with the stuff that has been kind of like the sequel trilogy stuff. In an October 2020 appearance alongside his wife, Melody Hobson, at the East Harlem School at Exodus House, Lucas was asked, the world has changed so much since the first Star Wars movie. How do you think the changes in the fight for racial justice will impact the Star Wars universe going forward? He responded, I don't know. I mean, I kind of lost control of Star Wars, so it's going off in a different path than what I intended. But the first 6 are very much mine and my philosophy. It goes on to give context about George Lucas and what he said that got him in so much trouble, where Disney actually came at him and needed an apology, probably part of a contractual obligation he had. But it is interesting. As the discussion continued, Star Wars Theory went on to reveal that he stopped covering quite a bit of Disney Star Wars content because the quality dropped and he felt they were pushing agendas. The YouTuber explained, I was covering the comics adamantly, religiously, and then it started going in the direction, and I was like, that doesn't really make sense. And then it became kind of weird and diluted, and they were pushing agendas and this and then, and I'm like, okay, this really doesn't feel authentic anymore. So I stopped covering the comics. Has a picture of the High Republic. John, you outdo yourself. That's exactly right. The High Republic is a tremendous example of the drop in quality and well, as I say that, I see for the first time in a while the pig that is also a wombat plus a bat combined, and it stops me in my tracks. I apologize. It's so terrible. But anyway, I do want to bring this around. We know that there's a blacklist. It's not very often talked about. It is fascinating that Star Wars Theory is naming names, or at least getting close to it, saying that he knows someone who knows the person over the blacklist at the Walt Disney Company. Fantastic stuff. But I want to bring this around to something more positive to end this video. It's a short one. We want to cover the news. We want to bring it to you. But I'm often thinking to myself, what can I do with the tremendous influence that I now have? I reach so many people, tens and tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people a day. And to me, that's a great responsibility. And so to wrap up this video, what I'd like to simply say is this. The Walt Disney Company, Lucasfilm, and each of us should re-examine the criteria by which we blacklist others. It's not just corporations, it is us as individuals who need to examine this. And so the advice that I would give to Disney is the same advice that I would give to all of us, you out there in the audience. And that is that before we blacklist someone, before we remove them from our orbit of influence, before we remove them from having an impact in the way we look, feel, think, the way we go about our lives and our business, perhaps we should look at the motivations of those individuals. Some people tell you that if somebody doesn't accept you just the way you are, then they're no good to you anymore. And that's certainly the philosophy we see behind Star Wars and Lucasfilm and the way they're treating Star Wars Theory. But that's wrong. And it's really wrong. Because you could be far more than you are today. So could I. So could Star Wars. So could Lucasfilm. Instead, what we should do is we should look to the people who truly care about us, the people who want the best for us. And for Disney, perhaps that's the companies, the commentators, etc. Find the people who want the best for us, and when they have a criticism, when they are skeptical of the way we are going, when they believe we could do better, listen to them. It's the people and the entities that want poorly for us that should be ignored. Those are the people who do not have our best interests at heart. Their advice lead us into failure. But those who love and care about us, especially the fans of Star Wars who love that franchise, they should be listened to. Just like we should listen to those who care most about us. And I hope that brings it back home to something we can all learn and improve upon, myself included. Well, folks, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, and you can stick it to the algorithms when you click it. We're talking about the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And don't forget that the Pro Show, if you're watching this video on the day of publication, it comes out at 5 p.m. today, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, the Pro Show. 7 p.m. is when we end it usually. It'll be a lot of fun. Look forward to having each and every one of you. We've got big changes coming to the channel in the future. We'll be rolling those out this summer and telling you all about them. Stay tuned. And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing.
Make sure to catch The Pro Show Thursdays 5 to 7 Eastern Time. Entertainment Explained, The Culture Curve Conquered, live with Pro and all his friends.
Say it ain't so. This just in. Disney lost money on another movie. Why, that can't be. I thought that John Lasseter fella over at Pixar was cranking out the latest hits, and Marvel was unstoppable, and Disney princesses were a thing, and Star Wars was a multi-billion-dollar money-making franchise.
I overheard you talking about Disney, and wanted to let you know you're really behind the ball. If you were getting great articles from thatparkplace.com and subscribe to WDW Pro's YouTube channel, you'd actually be ahead of the culture curve and have entertainment explained.
Did you think I forgot? Keep having fun.